Hello, everyone. Welcome to Snap Take. Happy new card release day. It is Legion release day. I'm Glazer of the Snap Judgments podcast, the official podcast of Marvel Zone. What we have for you today is a deck with the brand new card Legion that you're not going to find anywhere. It is an original to us, and I'm going to show you how I think that deck gets better over the next month. Then we're going to take a look at our deck of the day, which is not a Legion deck. It is instead a Destroy deck, and I think it's one of the best Destroy shells in the game currently. So we're going to take a look at both of those decks, how to play them, what to do with them. But before we go any further, please hit me up with that like and subscribe and comment. If you subscribe, you help us out. You help us grow the channel. We're all about trying to be the biggest and best Marvel Snap channel we can be to try and help you achieve your goals in the Marvel Snap space. Whether that be hitting Infinite, getting those Infinity tickets and borders, whether it's just being the best player you can, this is the channel that keeps you ahead of the curve before the other big channels get there. In addition, we bring you the biggest free season pass Marvel Snap giveaway in the entire game. If you want a free season pass, keep subbed here. That giveaway starts next week. If you don't sub, you're going to miss out. You're going to have to spend money on that season pass or skip it altogether. Why not get it for free? It makes your life easier. We're also giving away Marvel Snap Zone premium memberships. I'll tell you more about that in tomorrow's video, or actually second video later today. We'll focus more on that. But we have such a packed episode for you today. I want to get there. But remember, like, sub, comment, help us out with that YouTube algo. We super duper appreciate that. All right, let's talk us some Legion. Legion is a 5/8 that, according to Ben Brode, started as a 5/2 and has since been only stronger. That has the on reveal replace each other location with this one. And everyone immediately is like, how do I abuse this with Storm? How do I abuse this with all the broken things? How do I do that? That's one way to use it. I don't think that's necessarily the right way to use it. I think the right way to use it is in a good, versatile deck that can take advantage of lots of different locations. If you can take advantage of lots of different locations with Legion, you're going to win a lot of games of Marvel Snap. Now, what made me think of this was Subterranea, right? It's turn 5 and Subterranea has done its damage. You now turn every location to Subterranea, but you're running Darkhawk. You now have an absolutely busted Darkhawk, correct? You're going to win that game of Marvel Snap. You can even choose to play Darkhawk a little earlier, let it be weaker, don't play anything else with it, and then play that Legion on the last turn of the game for an insane amount of power. Which brings us to our first deck, which is the Legion Stats deck. That's exactly the type of play this deck is trying to make. It's got Iron Lad to cheat out Legion, or Iron Man to basically make 16 power worth. You make everything be one location. Should be able to control the game. This runs the Invisible Woman Killmonger package because everyone cut that, but I've seen enough big Human Torches, enough of the resurgence of Nebula, and enough Thanos that I know I still want Killmonger to be able to shift power at the end of the game, and I like losing priority for Shang-Chi. Invisible Woman allows both of those, so in the deck she stays. Sometimes I'm making a location that is unplayable be everywhere, and Jeff offers me extra power and variety in that case. Iron Lad Jeff does the same. We've got our regular Darkhawk package of Korg, Zebu, Darkhawk, and Rockslide because that's still one of the most powerful things you can do in the game. The other thing Legion does is you might have noticed that magic is in every deck. You can make every location be not limbo with Legion, and then Darkhawk retains his old power. That no one's drawing an extra card that way. We've got Cosmo. Cosmo is the swing spot in this deck. I found that like the Surfer Wong decks are really annoying, and Cosmo gives me a single card that I can just drop in that location and say thank you, but no thank you. Can it get in the way of my other stuff? Yes. Am I usually playing it on 3? Absolutely not. But late game, especially if I have Zebu out, turn 6 of Darkhawk and Cosmo is very, very, very strong. Also, there's a lot of Heller running around, so if you see them start stacking cards behind Invisible Woman, then a Cosmo is also a possibility for ruining that game. This deck is really cool and really strong. I think where this deck ends up is it ends up adding Stature into it, but not Black Bolt. I think it ends up adding Stature. Next month's season pass card Dakin. Probably we're removing Invisible Woman at that point, although maybe we're getting rid of Killmonger. There's a few options here. We're adding those cards. No, we're keeping Killmonger. Excuse me. We'd have to remove Invisible Woman or Cosmo. So we're adding Dakin, and we're adding, at the end of the month, Silver Samurai. Silver Samurai can make Dakin a 8. It's a 4 or 5 itself. It's going to discard a card from opponent's hand, make stature stronger. Now your last turn can be Legion and stature. You just have all these different options for play patterns there that are really hard to deal with. I think that's where the Legion deck ends up, but that's not where we are now. Worth noting, do I think you should open for Legion? That's what a lot of you were waiting for me to go over, right? If you need Darkhawk and High Evolutionary, both Darkhawk and High Evolutionary are A+ cards. Yeah, you should open packs. And if you get Legion, great. If you have both of those cards, I don't think Legion is worth the spotlight cash. I think all Series 4 should be open with tokens if you have them. So if you have tokens for Legion, I think it's worth opening him. At least down the line, I think it's worth considering opening him. He's not the best Series 4 that we have right now, but he is quite good. If you don't have the tokens and you don't have the and you have the other cards in the cache, I think you are better off pulling for Legion. Cool. Our actual deck of the day is our friend Fozer's Destroyer. If you if you go on YouTube and type in Fozer Snap, you're going to find Fozer's game show. He's a phenomenal player. He interviews top players and then plays them in a half draft, half constructed format. It has to be seen to be believed. It's super fun. There's an episode with me that should be out relatively soon. Other people that have been on there, we've got Super Tech God, my friend. We've got Eggs, our future guest on Snap Judgments, and we've got former guest and best player of the game, Lambie, on there now. So if you want to see them interviewed and then play a really cool draft game, check out Fozer's YouTube. It's there. I'm going to throw that in the description for you too. Okay. Fozer Destroyer is sick. The basis of this deck is fairly simple. You want to play Magic early, then you want to go Shuri Nimrod, and then you want to destroy Nimrod for 2 straight turns. You want to ideally first play Destroyer, wreck the whole board, make an extra Wolverine, make some Nimrod. At that point, on turn 7, you can go nuts. You can go Carnage and Venom. You can just go Zola. All these kills should be making death relatively cheap. Death is relatively cheap. You drop that on top of all the other cards. You've just got an absolute crazy amount of power all over the board. You're adding at least 24 to 2 lanes along with 15 power Destroyer, along with a 15 power Venom. Carnage is going to be 6 to 8 power. Wolverine's going to be 6 to 8 power. That's without even counting Nova. You're probably destroying your own Magic Shuri along the lines, but like, so be it. Everything else this deck does is crazy powerful. The only card I'm even remotely questionable about in this list is Shang-Chi. Iron Lad is great, by the way. Iron Lad hitting Nimrod, Iron Lad hitting Zola, Destroyer, Venom. All of these things are great. They're just throwing Nimrods all over. And if you didn't see Shuri or Nimrod on 4, Iron Lad gives you an extra roll to see if you can find them. Now, what Shang does at this point is kill an opponent's card. You should be able to go over the top of most opponents, almost no matter how strong they are in this meta. So I suggest, instead of Shang-Chi running Deathlock, I will be playing this deck more. Future I found Shang isn't as good as one would expect, and I'm running Deathlock in that spot. You can also give Null a try if you find that like you're destroying enough Nimrods to make that Null pretty freaking big, right? Null is also a really solid card here. You have to be careful of armor and you have to be careful of Cosmo, so be wary of those 2 cards. They will make your life difficult. But if Cosmo is played on the Nimrod lane, then you can still Destroyer elsewhere. It will destroy the Nimrods, move them elsewhere, and at that point, you can destroy again on 7 with your Zola or Carnage or whatever else, and put some Nimrods back into that lane, getting power back into that Cosmo lane that they can't really do anything about. This deck is not entirely Shang-proof. Destroyer and Death are both Shang magnets, but very often as they try and destroy those, they're sending more 12-power Nimrod all over the board. 12-power Nimrod is the name of the game. Don't feel like you have to have it on 4 or 5. It's so powerful, even on 5, 6 is worth doing, and will win you a silly number of games of. You want to win more games of Marvel Snap. Make sure you're subscribed. Help us out. Hit that like and comment button, and we'll do our best to help you achieve all your goals in the game. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back later today with a second video. Peace.